Hello, happy Wednesday. I just want to share with you all a little story, a little adventure that Aaron and I had. So for my Bapday gift, which is short for Baptism Day gift, I prefer to do baptism celebrations than birthdays. Anyways, so for my Bapday gift, Aaron thought, what do I get a minimalist? I know, by an experience rather than an object. So she got us 2 tickets to go see a performance of King Lear, William Shakespeare's King Lear. This is where Cordelia, the name of our firstborn child, comes from. Unless you ask Aaron, in which case it comes from. That's fine. And so I was excited. I love Shakespeare. I was thrilled. So we are ready to go. Turns out it's a little bit farther away than I realized. So already when we were setting out to leave for this play, we were running late. So that wasn't good. I tend to like to be things early. I like to be places early rather than on time. So we were running close on being on time. And you know, when you're driving somewhere far, you have to worry about parking and all that. So we're on the road, we're going, and what is it doing? Of course it's snowing. Of course, this is like the first real snowfall of the year. So it's snowing, it's getting dark, or it was dark, I think. So everyone's driving slowly, right? Everyone's driving real slow. I'm driving slow. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're going to be late. I don't want to be that guy. You know, I don't want to be that couple that walks in, especially to a live performance. You know, when you walk into a play and everyone stares at you and you're disrupted, it's bad. So I didn't want to be those people. So, however, we did get there with enough time to like squeeze in, right? So we get there and we have to park. So we found a parking garage pretty easily. It was really close to the theater. And we go into the parking garage and we pull in, and you know, a lot of times when you drive into the parking garage, you have to like take a ticket, right? Because that tells like what time it is that you got in there, because you pay per hour or something like that. So usually you take your ticket, then when you leave, you give it the ticket, another machine, and it tells you, okay, you owe this much money and you have to pay it. So we pull in and we drive by the parts where you normally get the ticket, but like there were just like the same kind of machine things, but they had like covers on them, you know, like as if it was like being protected from the rain or something, like these, I don't know, covers. So I was like, how do I get the ticket? I can't get to anything. They've got covers on them. And so I was just like, I don't know what to do. We're running late. We're just going to go through. Maybe, you know, it's just like a flat rate or something. I don't know. So we just drive through. I thought maybe they were down, you know, like they weren't working, so they were covered. So anyways, we park. We memorize, okay, we're on floor number 4, right? You don't want to forget that and get lost in the parking complex. So we're on level 4. We go out, we get into the show, we're like, okay, we're good to go. We've got time. We give them our tickets, and then we go into the theater. And we walk in, and I notice like no one's sitting in like the front rows. I'm like, why is no one sitting in the front? I know sometimes people like to leave the front row or two empty because it can be distracting to the actors to have people in the front row. But that's by no means necessary, and it was weird because it was like more than a couple rows. It was like a lot of the first front rows were just no one was sitting in them, and I was worried that it might be packed and we wouldn't get seats or something because we didn't have assigned seats with our tickets. So I'm like, well, let's just sit in the front row. I love being up close and up front. So we sit in the front row. Then what did we do? I think we went to the bathroom. Yeah, then we went out to the bathroom, and as we came back in, we saw an interview playing on the screen. The screen, mind you. Turns out that we were not seeing a live performance of William Shakespeare's King Lear. We were seeing a video recording, so like a film version of the play done by the Royal Shakespeare in London, I believe. So that was a surprise, and that's hilarious. And I mean, who cares, right? You're seeing Shakespeare. I prefer to see a live performance, obviously, but I'm not going to be able to see the Royal Shakespeare Company in London anyway, so this is a cool opportunity to see it up there on the big screen, and we had front row seats. So that explained why, you know, everyone was kind of avoiding the front row there, because it was a movie more than anything. So we're like, okay, so we're here for a movie version, but that's fine, you know, that's cool. Not what we expected, but hey, whatever. And we watched the show, and it was really super awesome. It was really cool. They had like these really weird bathrooms. Like when we went to the bathroom, like there was like an entrance door and an exit door, and you couldn't actually get out the exit door or in the entrance door. So you find the bathroom, it's like, here's the door, you go in, you go through the bathroom, you go to the bathroom, and then if you go back to the place where you entered, there's just a door with no handle, there's nothing you can do. It's just like pretty much the wall. And you're like, what? And there's just a different exit down that you have to go across. It's weird. But anyways, so it was great, fun time, cool show. We end. Now, I realized that this show started at 7 o'clock, and Aaron was thinking, it's show or whatever is going to be a couple of hours, not really realizing that with Shakespeare, it's usually going to be more like somewhere around 3 hours to see that production there. Plus, they showed interviews, there was an intermission, things like that. So it's pretty late by the time we're done, and I have to wake up at 4:30 the next morning to get to work. Of course, the next day is my earliest work day, when I'm going to my farthest job site. So anyways, so we leave. We're like, okay, I'm getting tired. We got to pick up the kids from the babysitter. Let's go. And we're like, wait, where was our parking complex? It's dark. We were in a rush when we got there, so we just showed up and, dashed to the theater. And I'm like, well, I remember coming from this direction. I know we were coming from the right, because I remember seeing the sign of the theater, and so we started going that way. And I'm like, and I don't think we crossed any streets. I think it was like just connected right here on this street somewhere. So we start walking that way, and we go, and we do not see the parking complex anywhere in there. So we're like, okay, maybe we did cross this street, and Aaron's saying, we were in a rush. Who knows? We can't trust our memories. We were in a rush. So we start the search for our parking complex. And so we find one, we're like, okay, it's probably this one, right? And it didn't take us, we went down one street, then we're like, maybe it was the other way. We cross, we go into the parking complex, and we go up to level 4. Our car's not in there. It's not in level 4. And then I realized that it says level 4, and it has yellow and like a cheetah or giraffe or something. All of the levels were color-coded with different animals to help you remember, which is genius. However, I remember that ours did not have that, because I would have noticed it and remembered that it was genius, and remembered the color as well. So we were in the wrong parking complex, which is good that our car didn't get stolen, I guess. But now we were back to square one. So we ended up just wandering around searching for our parking complex, and we don't know, where is it, what's going on. And we keep going around, looking around. Finally, we find where it is. And what happened was I was right. The parking complex was right on that street. We didn't have to cross any streets to get out of it. However, when we walked out, it was on a different side from where we drove in. And the side we left from was like a lobby area that didn't have a car entrance and exit. So that's why we didn't notice it as a parking complex when we were looking for it. So anyway, so we found it from the other side. We go in, we're like, oh, okay, here we are. We go into that lobby, and then we see the part where it says, insert your ticket before you go in, right? Give us your ticket so that we know how much to charge you. We didn't have a ticket, because I just drove through that dang thing because I didn't see where to get it. So we just had to press the button that says I lost my ticket, right? And what does it do if you lost your ticket? It charges you as if you parked there for the full day, the full 24 hours or 12 hours or whatever it is. So that's $28. $28 down the drain. So we're already like, great, that's $20 we should not have had to spend, and now we're just wasting that $20. Whatever. We just want to get home, right? So we spend our $28 to get our return ticket. We find our car on level 4. We start to drive away, and when we are leaving, we get to the part where you put in your ticket, your return ticket that we already paid $28 for. Okay, we already put it into the kiosk, got our return ticket, so we could exit. We just have to put in this ticket to exit. And we get to that spot where the thingy things, open up, and I'm looking to find, like, where do we put in the ticket? And again, there's just covered things. I don't see it. Then we realize that the thingy thing that blocks you in, right, it's open already. Everything's covered. We can just leave. We don't need to put in a ticket. We didn't need to pay for a ticket at all. We can just go. So I'm thinking what happens is that in this particular parking complex, maybe after like 5 p.m., you don't have to pay. It's just for people who work and stuff. After 5, they cover the things. They go home. Anyone can park there for free. So we spent $28 for nothing. And it's already late and we're tired, and we drive home. I think it started snowing again. I don't know. The moral of the story is we wasted a lot of time and money this day. We wasted time wandering around trying to find the parking complex because we didn't realize or take note of where it was. We wasted $28 for nothing just to park. Yeah, but the moral of the story is it was all worth it. It was a great night. It was so nice for me and Aaron to get out. We don't get away from the kids that often, or definitely get to go see Shakespeare, even if it was on the screen rather than a live production. So really nothing that happened that night was how we planned or expected, right? We had all these curveballs. We couldn't find our car. We way overpaid to park it there. We didn't know it was going to be a movie rather than a play, but it was so worth it. And not only was the show still really good to watch, but it was just so great being out with Aaron, being with the woman that I love, and just spending it out. It just ended up feeling like we were traveling around Europe together when we studied abroad. It just felt like that. We're used to being lost and wandering around together trying to find our way. So it was worth paying $28 for nothing. That's just part of the cost. I would have paid $100, $200. I would have paid a lot of money just to have a night with Aaron, because experiences are more important. Time well spent with the person you love is more important than the money that you spend. So I would have paid $28 if that's what they had charged me initially. So why would I get so upset about paying it when I could have actually parked there for free? And you know what? Now if we go to a show there again, we know we don't necessarily have to pay to park in that ramp. So you want to take a step back, right? We could have gotten angry. It was late, right? We were both tired. We could have gotten mad at each other. Why didn't you find a way to pay the right amount? Or why didn't you take a better note of where we parked? Or, any of these things that we could have gotten frustrated with each other about, or just in general. But we just realized it is what it is, right? Sometimes you lose $30 for no good reason, and that's just how it is. And you can take something out of that and say, that was worth it. It's worth the time spent. I would rather spend money and spend time with you. Because if you're familiar with the love languages, quality time is a love language that Aaron and I share. We both share one of our top two. Most people have two kind of primary love languages, and Aaron and I both share quality time. So it's really important for us to actually have quality time and spend that quality time together. So that was my baptism day gift. Nothing went as expected, but it was so worth it. You can always find something good in the frustrating times, the frustrating experiences, right? We've been married together, 7 years now? 5, 6? We've been married a bunch of years, at least, still in the single digits, but it's good to know that we're still able to keep our cool and be in love. So I hope you've gotten something out of this. If not, you've gotten to take a look at this beautiful face. So I will talk to you next time. Have a blessed, blessed day. Love you. Bye.